You've been breathing since the moment you were born, but I promise you, you've never breathed like this. Take a second. Right now, notice the air sliding into your lungs. Notice how you didn't even have to think about it. Breathing is the first thing you did in this life, and it will be the last thing you do before you leave. But in between those 2 points, almost no one teaches you the true purpose of breath. The ancients did. They knew that breath isn't just the fuel for your body, it's the hidden bridge to your soul. They called it the sacred current, the invisible thread that ties your physical life to your spiritual essence. You've felt it before, in those rare moments when time stops. The deep sigh that releases a year of tension, the steady inhale before you make the biggest decision of your life, the exhale that feels like forgiveness. But most of the time, you're not breathing, you're surviving. You're holding your breath when you're scared, gasping when you're anxious, choking down the words you can't say. Your breath has become a prisoner of your stress, your trauma, your conditioning. And here's the truth you were never told. The reason you feel disconnected from yourself isn't because something is wrong with you. It's because you forgot how to breathe in a way that heals you from the inside out. Today, that ends. In this video, you're going to discover something your ancestors knew and your modern life has buried. You'll learn why your breath is the fastest way to reset your nervous system, clear old emotional residue, and awaken a part of you that has been waiting patiently to return. Before we begin, I want you to do one simple thing. Pause, close your eyes, and take one slow, intentional inhale. Hold it gently, and exhale everything you've been carrying. That was the first step home. If you feel something stirring, a soft pull in your chest, a quiet knowing, trust it. Your soul remembers this language, even if your mind has forgotten. Think about this. Every single emotion you've ever felt has changed the way you breathe. When you were a child, your breath was natural, full, unbroken. You cried without shame, sighed without guilt, laughed without holding back. But somewhere along the way, maybe the first time someone told you to calm down or stop crying, or be strong, you learned to compress your breath, to shrink it, to hide it. And when your breath shrank, so did your aliveness. Ancient wisdom keepers understood this better than any modern psychologist ever could. In every spiritual tradition, breath was the first medicine. The yogis called it prana, the vital force that animates your cells and consciousness. The Taoists called it qi, the universal life current that flows through every living thing. The Sufis spoke of the divine breath that recites creation with every inhale. But in our world, we reduced breath to biology, something automatic, insignificant. And yet, science is now proving what the mystics always knew. Every conscious breath you take activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that signals, I am safe, I can rest, I can heal. Researchers at Harvard discovered that when you breathe slowly and deeply, you deactivate your amygdala, fear center of your brain, and awaken regions linked to empathy, clarity, and higher reasoning. Your entire physiology shifts from survival to presence. This isn't some abstract spiritual metaphor. It's measurable, repeatable, real. But here's what they don't tell you. It's not the breath alone that transforms you. It's the intention you pour into it. Breathing unconsciously will keep you alive. But breathing consciously will bring you back to life. Right now, I want you to try something. Place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow inhale, feeling your hands rise. Hold it, and exhale even slower, letting your hands soften back down. Feel the space that creates in your body, the microsecond of peace that opens between your thoughts. That is the doorway, the one you've been searching for in books, in teachers, in distractions. It's been right here, in your own breath, waiting for you to notice. If you stay with me, I'm going to show you how this simple act, this sacred return, can not only ease your anxiety or calm your mind, but awaken something older than memory itself. The part of you that was never wounded, never afraid, never separate. Because your breath is not just a function, it's a code that unlocks the soul you abandoned to survive. And once you learn to use it, you will never feel powerless again. Let's be brutally honest. Most people spend their entire lives breathing in a way that reinforces their suffering. When you feel anxious, your breath becomes shallow, trapped in your chest. When you feel powerless, it gets tight, constricted, like there's never quite enough air. When you feel ashamed or defeated, you hold it without realizing, like you don't even deserve the fullness of life moving through you. This isn't random, it's a pattern. And it's not just psychological, it's energetic. Ancient cultures saw breath as the bridge between matter and spirit, but they also knew this bridge could carry anything: healing or disease, clarity or confusion, expansion or contraction. Because breath doesn't just move oxygen, it moves energy. And energy is what shapes your reality. Modern neuroscience finally has language for this. Dr. Stephen Porges, the creator of polyvagal theory, showed that every exhale is a signal to your nervous system. You are safe. When your nervous system believes this, everything changes. Your heart rate slows, your digestion improves, your immune system strengthens, your brain stops scanning for danger. And most importantly, your field, the invisible energy around your body, shifts from chaos to coherence. That shift is not a nice bonus. It's the whole point. Because the state of your energy field determines what you perceive, what you attract, and what you can hold. If you keep breathing like a hunted animal, you will keep experiencing life as something to survive. If you choose to breathe like a sovereign being, you will start experiencing life as something you are meant to create. Imagine this for a moment. You wake up tomorrow, and before you touch your phone, before you remember all the reasons you're not enough, you sit quietly and you breathe. Slow, conscious, deliberate. You feel your heartbeat slow. You feel your awareness drop from your mind into your body. You feel the old static in your field dissolving like dust swept from a window. And in that clarity, something opens, a new possibility. This is not poetic exaggeration. It's biology. It's ancient wisdom. It's the part of you that never forgot how to heal, how to return, how to remember what you really are. Every time you consciously exhale, you're sending an electric impulse through your vagus nerve, telling every cell, we are safe now, we can grow, we can repair, we can remember. So if you've ever wondered why affirmations feel empty, why therapy alone doesn't release the tension, why you can understand your patterns but still feel stuck, it's because you haven't changed the breath. And until you do, you can't change the field. And until you change the field, you can't change your life. Most people will never understand this. They'll keep searching for the next book, the next hack, the next promise of quick transformation. But you're here because something in you is done with searching. Something in you is ready to embody, to stop looking for the medicine, and to become it. Your breath is the first and last tool you will ever need to start that process. And the choice to use it consciously is the choice to reclaim the life you were always meant to live. Consider this. Before you had a single thought, before you formed a single word, you were breathing. Before you knew your own name, you were breathing. And that first breath was not just a reflex, it was an initiation, a declaration to existence itself. I am here. I am alive. I am part of the great unfolding. Somewhere along the way, you forgot that. We all do. Life teaches us to rush, to tense, to armor ourselves against disappointment. And our breath, the most intimate expression of life, becomes shallow, mechanical, almost an afterthought. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Because inside each breath is a sacred blueprint, a vibrational code that remembers everything you've ever been and everything you're still becoming. And every time you breathe with intention, you reactivate that code. This is why so many ancient traditions placed breath at the center of transformation. In yoga, pranayama isn't just breathing exercises, it literally means the expansion of life force. In Taoist practice, the breath is the vehicle for circulating qi, the energy that animates every living thing. In Sufi mysticism, the breath is used to chant the names of the divine, each exhale dissolving the illusion of separation. What all these lineages understood is simple. Your breath is the only part of your nervous system you can consciously control. And that control is the doorway to everything else: your mind, your emotions, your energy field. Here's what science has shown us. When you breathe slowly and rhythmically, you create heart coherence. That's when your heart, brain, and nervous system synchronize into a state of optimal functioning. You don't just feel calmer. You become more perceptive, more resilient, more attuned to your own intuition. This is the state in which spontaneous healing happens. This is the state where the body repairs, the mind clears, and the soul begins to speak. But let's be clear. This isn't about perfection. You don't have to breathe like a monk or meditate for hours to access this. It begins with a single decision: to stop abandoning yourself, to stop breathing as if you're constantly under threat, to start honoring every inhale and exhale as a sacred act. If you can commit to this, even 5 minutes a day, your entire reality begins to shift. Because your nervous system is not static, it is plastic, adaptive, waiting for you to show it a different way to be. This is why so many people who practice conscious breathwork describe it the same way. It feels like coming home. Because it is. It's a return to the original agreement you made with life the moment you took your first breath. That you are here not just to endure, but to embody. Not just to survive, but to remember. And if you feel something stirring in your chest as you read this, that isn't coincidence. That is your soul responding to the call. A quiet knowing that it's time to reclaim the power you've always carried, the power that lives in your own breath. Imagine for a moment that your breath is not merely oxygen exchange, but a living bridge, one that connects the unseen to the seen, the formless to the form, the soul to the body. Every inhale pulls life into you. Every exhale releases the weight you were never meant to carry. Yet most of us go years without ever truly crossing this bridge. Instead, we live in survival mode. We hold our breath in meetings, in traffic, in conversations where we pretend to be fine. We inhale shallow sips of air when life feels uncertain, exhale in quick gasps when fear swells. All the while, our nervous system records this pattern and begins to believe this is reality. But it isn't. You were not born to be trapped in a perpetual cycle of shallow survival. You were born to breathe deeply, fully, like every moment is sacred because it is. And here's the truth many never learn. Your body has been waiting to feel safe enough to breathe this way again. Every time you return to conscious breath, you send a signal to your nervous system that you are no longer in danger, that you are safe to open, to feel, to heal. Science calls this parasympathetic activation. It's when your heart rate slows, your digestion improves, and your brain moves out of high alert vigilance into calm, centered clarity. This is where true transformation happens, not in willpower alone, not in forcing positive thinking, but in this quiet physiological shift that breath initiates. When you learn to breathe with intention, you begin to feel life differently. You notice how each breath draws energy through your chest and belly like a current. You sense where tension has been hiding in your body. You become aware of old emotions that were frozen in shallow breathing. This is why so many spiritual lineages placed breath at the center of awakening. Because your breath doesn't just change your state, it changes the shape of your energy field. Every slow exhale dissolves old contractions. Every steady inhale rebuilds a foundation of safety. And the more you practice, the more your system learns a new default: peace over panic, presence over numbness, truth over pretense. But let's be honest, choosing this path is not the easy road. It means facing the parts of you that you've ignored, those hidden pockets of grief, shame, fear. It means feeling what you once believed was too overwhelming to touch. Yet here is the secret. When you meet those places with breath instead of resistance, they transform. Because breath is alchemy. It is the element that turns leaden stagnation into living, flowing energy. It is the invitation to remember what you are beneath every layer of conditioning. A being designed to regenerate, to heal, to expand. If you want proof, don't look for someone else's story. Look to your own body. Close your eyes right now. Take one slow, deep inhale. Hold it gently. Exhale longer than you think you need to. Notice how your shoulders drop, how your mind softens, how your heart begins to feel just a little safer. This is real. This is your power. And it has been here all along, waiting for you to claim it. There is a moment in every seeker's path where you realize no one is coming to rescue you. No miracle outside of yourself can replace the quiet power waiting in your own breath, your own presence. This is the moment when you step beyond the illusions of quick fixes, beyond the seduction of someone else having the answers, and you begin the real work, the work of returning to your own center. This is what it means to reclaim your sovereignty. To stand in the awareness that you are not simply a body reacting to circumstance, but a living field of consciousness capable of transmuting your reality from the inside out. Every time you inhale with intention, you reclaim another piece of yourself. Every time you exhale with awareness, you release what was never yours to hold. Consider this. Most of what you call stress is not yours alone. It's inherited fear, collective anxiety, ancestral residue. You were born into a world that taught you to distrust your own rhythms, to suppress your natural aliveness. But deep within you is a remembrance far older than any cultural conditioning, a memory of how it feels to be fully connected, fully awake. The breath is the key to that remembrance. When you breathe with consciousness, you are not just regulating your nervous system. You are initiating a subtle, powerful dialogue between your body and your soul. You are whispering to every cell, it is safe to feel, it is safe to heal, it is safe to come home. This is why the greatest mystics and healers across traditions spoke of breath as a sacred practice, because it is the doorway into wholeness that no external force can bar. In those quiet moments when you breathe slowly and fully, you experience something no philosophy can deliver: direct knowing, a felt sense that you are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are simply remembering. Imagine waking each day with this embodied knowing that you have the power to reset your frequency, to choose presence over reaction, to create coherence in your own energy field. Not by force, not by striving, but by returning again and again to this simplest of acts: breathing with awareness. If you commit to nothing else after this, let it be this: that you will no longer abandon yourself in shallow, unconscious breath. That you will meet each wave of fear, each memory of pain, each surge of uncertainty with a single steady commitment to return to your breath. This is your sacred act of rebellion in a world addicted to distraction. This is your quiet revolution. This is how you reclaim your sovereignty. And when you do, when your breath becomes your anchor, your sanctuary, your medicine, life begins to respond in ways you cannot predict. Relationships shift, emotions soften. Your sense of possibility expands, not because the world has changed, but because you have. You have remembered who you are, and nothing can take that from you. If this message resonated in your heart, do one simple thing right now. Write in the comments below: I choose to reclaim my breath and my sovereignty. This is not just a sentence. It's a declaration to your soul and to the universe that you are ready to return to yourself. Like this video, amplify this frequency across the collective field. Subscribe so you don't miss the next journeys into conscious breath and authentic freedom. Your breath is your birthright, and your healing starts with a single choice. Make it now.